Are you deaf? What's the plan with this thing anyway?
Huh? Oh, there's bound to be something useful on this thing.
Believe it or not, as 2024 comes to a close, we are about to be bombarded with a plethora of exciting VR titles, including 5 potential AAA behemoths, if you get my meaning. This is not a comprehensive list. I have just picked out the 20 titles that tickled my virtual reality gland. So buckle up, roll titles, and remember, we're born to respawn. I think we can agree that 2024 hasn't been a stellar year for VR. For every great VR game like Max Mustard on Quest or the peerless Resident Evil 4 Remake on PSVR 2, we've had absolute stinkers like Happy Funland and Hitman 3 VR Reloaded. The latter game in particular seems to have sounded the death knell for XR games, as they have just announced they are laying off over 72 staff from a total workforce of 84. However, this is not a VR is dead video. This is a video packed to the gills with 20 amazing games coming out in the remains of 2024, including 5 AAA blockbuster titles that you should be very excited about. I have listed the games by date order. If there is currently no release date, I have tried to guesstimate when the games are due out, based on feedback from my peers. At number 20 is a VR version of the fast-paced strategic card game Exploding Kittens. Exploding Kittens VR by Saber Interactive can be played by between 2 to 5 people or a mixture of bots and real players. The VR version reinterprets the stack of cards with a clever dispenser. Hit the button and out pops a little red ball. Within that is a physical item that replicates the traditional card. For example, instead of drawing a card that lets you view the next 3 cards in the stack, you'll get a pair of X-ray specs that you pop on. These will show you what items are in the next 3 balls to be dispensed. There are also unlockable minigames placed within the social hub. This looks like a great interpretation of the manic social fun that can be had playing the original game. Exploding Kittens VR is available now on MetaQuest 3. Number 19 is Just Dance VR. Originally slated for release on Pico, this game has now switched entirely to Meta's headsets, with tracks from Queen, Selena Gomez, Nicki Minaj and Ellie Goulding to name just a few. Dance along with the avatar in front of you and score points for accuracy, hitting the beat and hopefully, in my case, doing some proper dad dancing, with customizable avatars from Ready Player Me, a planned social hub and cooperative play. This looks to be the ultimate dance party game. Just Dance VR releases on the 15th of October for MetaQuest. At 18 is a nuts and bolts ground up remake of one of the first games I ever played in VR back in 2016. You jump back into the boots of the unnamed protagonist, voiced by the completely hilarious and over the top Sky Soleil. You are back in a post-apocalyptic USA flooded with undead Freds out to chomp down on your brain. Arizona Sunshine Remake takes the gameplay mechanics, graphics and audio from Part 2 and completely remakes the well-regarded original, bringing it up to 2024 standards. The remake includes all the DLC from the original, so if you enjoyed 2023's Arizona Sunshine 2, you are going to love this. Arizona Sunshine Remake releases 17th of October on PC VR, PSVR 2 and MetaQuest. At 17 is ExoCars, an off-road dirt buggy racing game with real physics, crazy suspension dynamics, massive jumps and different off-road environments. Your buggy is fully customizable. You can compete in single-player mode or against other real players in online multiplayer. Plus, the PC VR and PSVR 2 versions support wheels for extra immersion. The Quest 3 version also has better shaders, textures and anti-aliasing. ExoCars releases on 17th October on PC VR, PSVR 2 and MetaQuest. Coming in at 16 is the completely unexpected Starship Troopers Continuum. This title dropped out the blue when none other than Casper Van Dien, who plays John Rico in the films, dropped a teaser on Twitter, or X. We now have a longer trailer that doesn't actually show much gameplay footage and is by the developer XR Games, who dropped the great stinking turd that was Hitman 3 VR Reloaded. But the idea of mowing down hundreds of bugs in VR gets me slightly hopeful that this won't stink the place up. However, now that I've said that, actually, I'm not at all convinced. Anyway, Starship Troopers Continuum will be dropping sometime in October on MetaQuest. Number 15 is the first of our AAA titles Batman Arkham Shadows. You play as Batman, obviously, as you battle the Rat King and his minions across Gotham City. Now, one of my all-time favourite superhero games is Batman Arkham Asylum, which came out in 2009. In that game, you had to play Batman as the Hunter, stealthily eliminating foes, using gadgets and chained combat moves to take down the Joker and his thugs. After watching the trailer and talking to several creators who played the demo at Gamescom, the developer Camouflage has really captured that vibe of Arkham Asylum. So, I am super excited for this title. Plus, if you pre-order the MetaQuest 3S headset, you get this game thrown in for free. How great is that? Batman Arkham Shadow releases on the 22nd October on MetaQuest 3 and 3S. Next up is Vendetta Forever from well-regarded publishers Dreams. If you ever thought, ooh, what if Pistol Whip and Superhot had a baby? What would that game be like? Well, firstly, you need help. But secondly, you'd get Vendetta Forever. The stylized enemies and levels of Superhot meets the frenetic run and gun of Pistol Whip. You kill enemies to teleport, grab their weapons, kill the next enemy, move on in a breathless, fast-paced orgy of violence. Plus, there are 60 levels, modifiers, online leaderboards, challenges and collectibles. There is currently a demo available on MetaQuest, and the game releases on the 24th October and will also be available on PSVR 2. At 13 is another of my AAA predictions, Wanderer Fragments of Fate, a remake of the award-winning, critically acclaimed VR time travel game Wanderer. This intriguing time travel puzzle adventure has been overhauled for next-gen VR with improved mechanics, breathtaking new visuals and gameplay. The game releases on 31st October for PC VR, PSVR 2, Pico and MetaQuest. The next 4 games have vague October release dates, but as of making this video, no actual solid dates. Into Black is a first-person action adventure that takes you into the depths of a mysterious alien planet. Explore the endless darkness, mine valuable resources and fight off alien beasts as you try to repair your ship and escape. The game is releasing exclusively for MetaQuest 3 and 3S. Frenzies is the chaotic PvP shooter for the ultimate show-off, combining Dream's precision gunplay with a lucky dip of frantic game modes. Make friendships and ruin them in a hail of neon-soaked gunfire in a winner-takes-all arena showdown. A new FPS from Dreams, Frenzies fuses the award-winning action of Fract and Synapse with the mayhem of multiplayer PvP games like Quake Arena. The game is releasing exclusively on MetaQuest. Zombie Army VR is a spiritual brother of Sniper Elite and its flat-screen spin-off Zombie Army. Following the story of Zombie Army, you return to the field as one of the Dead Hunters, an elite squad that is hunting down zombie war criminals. Fight your way through the Nazi undead army and help Herman Wolf, the Dead Hunters' legendary leader, find his scattered family and end the zombie apocalypse. The game releases on PC VR, PSVR 2 and MetaQuest. The hugely popular Human Fall Flat is getting a VR mode. The 2016 physics-based flat-screen game is being updated with a new control scheme. Each controller represents the respective wobbly arms of your avatar, and each level takes place across different environments. If the VR mode can replicate the anarchy of the flat-screen game, this is going to be one to watch. Human Fall Flat VR will release on PC VR, PSVR 2 and MetaQuest. Back to solid release dates now, and at number 8 we have another of my 5 AAA predictions. Developed by Vertigo Games, Metro Awakenings VR promises an origin story for this post-apocalyptic series set 5 years before Metro 2033. That was written by Metro's creator, Dmitry Glukhovsky. With top-quality trailers and very positive comments from creators who played the demo at Gamescom, I am very excited to step back into this universe, as Metro 2033 and its 2 follow-up games are among my all-time favourites of all time. It releases on the 7th of November for PC VR, PSVR 2 and MetaQuest. Number 7 is a perennial favourite among flight sim fanatics. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 does exactly what it says on the tin. With expanded airfields, more detailed aircraft, startup procedures and a career mode. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 swoops into view on 19th of November for PC VR. Thrill of the Fight is one of the hardest fitness games out, as you need real-world boxing skills to defeat the increasingly tougher enemies. A recent update also brought mixed reality to the game and made it an incredible experience. At number 6, it's the sequel, Thrill of the Fight 2. It promises better AI, a career progression path, and, intriguingly, a multiplayer mode with skill-based matchmaking. The game will release into early access on 21st November, initially for Quest, but other platforms will follow at a later date. At number 5 is the fourth of my AAA behemoths, and it is Skydance Behemoth. Do you see what I did there? The original trailer came in for some stick because the monster looked like an elephant seal, but once people got hands on the demo at Gamescom, the realization that this was something special started to emerge. With visceral, brutal, physics-based combat, the grappling hook, and the absolutely gigantic, towering behemoths, this triggered my inner Shadow of the Colossus. This Colossus launches on the 5th of December on PC VR, PSVR 2, and MetaQuest. The last of my predicted 5 AAA titles is based on a franchise that I hold very dear to my heart, 1986's Aliens movie, sequel to the space horror xenomorph romp from 1979. James Cameron took the horror genre, added a big dollop of sci-fi military shooter, absolutely brimming with young Hollywood talent, and, despite his relative inexperience at the time, made one of the best action films of the 1980s. The franchise has failed to reach that incredible high since, but Alien Isolation, a flat-screen game, garnered high praise and even spawned a VR mod. Alien Rogue Incursion hopes to bring back the high of Cameron's Aliens with slick combat, scuttling xenomorphs and terrifying encounters. The trailer brings back all the iconic weapons, gadgets and sounds of the film, so hopefully we'll be soiling our pants when it releases on 19th of December for PC VR, PSVR 2 and MetaQuest. The next 3 games have vague December release dates, but as of making this video, no actual solid dates. Once again, we will step into the shoes of Agent 47 when Hitman World of Assassination releases exclusively on PSVR 2. I have personally been burned by Hitman in VR twice. Once the woeful PC VR port back in 2022, and more recently with the steaming turd that Hitman 3 VR Reloaded was on Quest. It's possibly the worst VR game I've ever played, and may have killed the previously well-regarded developer XR Games. This time though, we are promised full VR interactions, manual weapon reloading, and no more button presses to climb, open doors and the like. We'll see, but if they finally get it right, and they include all the content available in the flat screen game, this could be absolutely epic. Despite my cynicism, I am keeping my fingers firmly crossed for this one. Aces of Thunder is a spin-off from the massive online game that is War Thunder. It promises an authentic World War II flight combat simulator featuring iconic planes, iconic theatres of war, huge online multiplayer battles, as well as a single-player campaign. This looked packed to the gills with content and will be compatible with your HOTAS for all you flight sim junkies on PC VR and PSVR 2. Our last game is a bit of a left field choice, but bear with me. Trombone Champ Unflattened is one of the first games from Studio Flat to VR. They were set up specifically to convert flat screen games into official VR ports, and despite the strange premise, this looks like a huge amount of fun. You are playing a trombone in front of a very Nintendo-esque audience. Follow the on-screen prompts and try to keep the crowd happy. Sounds like nonsense, but again, feedback from other creators has mentioned it's bonkers and very fun to play. And that is my list of 20 games still to come in 2024. There are more I could have listed, but these are the ones that caught my eye. But, as always, what do you think? Is there a game that you're excited about that I have missed? Do you disagree with any of my choices? You know the drill. Get involved and comment down below. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button. The algorithm loves the likes. If you loved this content, please subscribe and join my channel membership like these lovely people did. You get custom badges, emojis, and an exclusive members-only channel on my Discord. If you want to watch more content from me, you can click here or here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the other side.